Mnuchin. A budget is a reflection of America's values, and President Trump's budget is no exception. As we have seen time and again, the administration is focused on the needs of the wealthy and the powerful instead of middle-class families. From attacking America's health care and Social Security to dismantling protections for struggling families, we have seen the trend. For example, the Trump budget cuts Medicare by over $500 billion, jeopardizing this important program for older Americans. We saw these same priorities last year when the President and Republicans rammed through a $2.3 trillion tax cut for the wealthy in corporate America and sowed confusion across the country, as noted in the Chairman's opening comments about what needs to be corrected. While Republicans claim that their bill will benefit average Americans, the evidence is clear. 83% of the benefit goes to those directly at the very top. Let's be clear. Republicans' priority with tax legislation is wealthy and big corporations and not the middle class. While big companies and the most well-off and well-connected reap massive benefits, tens of thousands of workers are being laid off and middle-class families are not seeing the gains that Republicans have promised. I saw this myself back home in Massachusetts when the legislation first passed. Their tax plan limits the SALT deduction to $10,000. However, the bill allowed for taxpayers to prepay their 2018 property taxes before the close of 2017. In Massachusetts, there was a tremendous amount of interest in doing this, and we saw an influx of lines at city halls and town halls across the state. In fact, in an attempt to help my constituents find their way through the maze of confusion, I asked the IRS to issue guidance to help taxpayers make these payments. However, instead of issuing taxpayer-friendly guidance, the IRS issued guidance that complicated matters further and even limited middle-class families' ability to take advantage of this tax benefit. That is not putting the middle class first in my book. The Republican tax law also is fiscally irresponsible. The law adds at least $2.3 trillion to the nation's debt while giving massive tax cuts to people at the top. Republicans claim these massive tax cuts will pay for themselves. Even the Budget Director, Mick Mulvaney, has noted that is simply not true. However, tax cuts don't pay for themselves. We all pay for those tax cuts. The White House Budget Director essentially admitted that yesterday, as I noted, and to pay for these handouts, Speaker Ryan and the Trump budget are clear in their intentions to cut funding for programs like Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security, vital benefits that hardworking Americans have paid into and earned. We can do better. Instead of cutting programs that middle-class families rely on, I call on my colleagues to work on a bipartisan basis now to fix the many problems that the tax bill has created. One example, Mr. Secretary, and I want to thank you for your kindness on that matter, we addressed the issue of the multi-employer pension plan dilemma that the country confronts, and you were attuned to that, and we talked about it. So I'm hoping this year that these American workers who planned for their retirement and year after year chose to contribute to their pensions instead of taking wage increases will be in the position to seek some relief. After working for those 30-plus years as iron workers, truck drivers, and auto workers, their planned retirements were taken away from them, and taken it away at a time when they no longer have the ability to prepare for retirement because they're already living in retirement. We need to help these Americans whose retirements are at risk by no fault of their own. This is a bipartisan issue, and I'm hopeful that the new Joint Select Committee on Solvency of Multi-Employer Pension Plans will be successful in developing solutions. Secretary Mnuchin, I also asked the administration to help us with these efforts. Our goal is to work on this committee with these families and to put them first and act together to create opportunities for the middle class. I do want to acknowledge your staff and you for your work on what is known as the crumbling foundations issue across Connecticut and Massachusetts, and the staff reacted very swiftly, and the IRS was aligned with the position you took, and many families will receive and derive that benefit. So on that basis, I yield back my time.